cheese in a can. I'm eating it up. This book, oh my gosh. Sir, you can quite literally go choke on a spoon. I really hope you're the next one. Welcome to another vlog. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and I'm so excited that you joined me today. Today's video is going to be a different kind of vlog that I've never done. This is going to be a weekend reading vlog, which I really just did on impulse because I'm really reading some really good books right now and I really wanted to share them with you. I'm currently in the middle of like 87,000 books. Pug can attest. I'm in the middle of so many books right now, but the main two that I'm hoping to finish this weekend, I'm so sorry if you can hear my pug in the background. It's just what you deal with, okay? You live with a pug. Book number one is One by One by Frida McFadden. For some reason, this one is on NetGalley, and I requested it not even knowing that it's actually already out, and it has been out for quite some time, and for some reason, I was approved for this one, and I don't really know why it was on NetGalley. I don't really know all this much about NetGalley, to be honest. But I went into this one with kind of low expectations because I was listening to a couple of my friends talk about this one and they were just like, it's okay. It's not her best and it's not her worst. And welcome to the life of living with a pug. Either we need food, water, or a priest. Not sure which one. And I'm eating it up. I'm eating it up. Oh my gosh, I'm having the time of my life with this book. I am a super easy person to please and entertain, and it takes a lot for me not to get invested in a book, and this one is just keeping my attention, and honestly, I'm kind of loving it. It's super corny and it's super cheesy. It's cheese in a can, it's Fritos corn chips, but I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. This one is following 6 friends as they're going out to this like remote cabin inn sort of place for like a romantic getaway. And it's following our main character Claire and her husband. Claire's husband is not very nice. And they're having a lot of problems in their marriage. And so right off the bat, you're just kind of like dealing with that. But then their minivan breaks down in the middle of nowhere. And honestly, like, would this really happen? I don't know. But it breaks down and they're like, they have no cell service and they have to like get out and obviously try and find their way on foot. And some things start happening. One person has already been murdered / died because you're getting 2 perspectives. You're getting Claire's perspective and you're getting the perspective of this anonymous person who is behind all of this. And for some reason, it just seems like this person is not part of this group. It's good. I'm not a hard person to please and I'm having such a good time with it. So I'm hoping to finish that one tonight. I'm actually hosting sprints on my channel tonight with Wendy, LeaBeth, and Kaitlin. And I'm hoping that I can get a big chunk of that one read tonight because honestly, I just want to dive back into that one. This intro is about to be 1,000 years long because I got to tell you about the second book that I'm reading this weekend and I'm hoping to finish. Oh my gosh. I did this vlog specifically because of this book because I needed it to be documented somewhere that I read this book and how I feel about it. Because, my friends, why are we not talking about this book? Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. This book is giving me all of the 6-star vibes. And why are we not talking about this? So I have never heard of this book before in my life until my friend Elise recommended it to me. And she basically sold this to me as like a treasure hunt adventure with a little bit of romance. And honey, let me tell you, I was sold from there. But let me tell you, this book, oh my gosh, you need to get your hands on this book. I really don't even know how to classify this book. Is it a romance? Is it a mystery? I have no clue, but all I know is that it's a good time. So this one follows our main character, Lily, and Lily's dad owns this, I don't really know how to explain it. He owns this place where he used to draw up treasure maps in the middle of the desert. And then he would take people out on this fake treasure hunt to try and find treasure. And now Lily owns the business. But a while ago, Lily fell for this guy. and they were so in love. They were like head over heels for each other, and then they went their separate ways. Well, a little time has passed, and Guy's friend, I forget the main guy's name. Main guy's friend sets him up to be part of this treasure hunt adventure, not knowing that Lily now owns the business. But that is not it. There are so many things that are happening right now, and honestly, I'm having the time of my life with this book. If I had anything to tell you about this book, it's quite literally that it's so much fun. It is the most fun that I've had in a book in a very long time. I do want to point out that this one has quite a bit of language in here, but I chose to overlook that for two reasons. One is because it is a ranch style sort of book, and that's kind of like the theme that they're in right now, and I think that's like usually how they converse, how they talk. And two, I'm enjoying the story and the plot so much so that I am choosing not to be taken out of this book, and I'm just gonna overlook it. I can do that. I can literally overlook it, because at this point it is not going to take my enjoyment of the book, because the freaking plot is so good. And that's saying something for me, because I have DNF'd books because of the language before. I'm only halfway through, so hopefully it doesn't like just go off the cliff, but I really don't think it's going to. I'm having so much fun. So hopefully those are the two books that I'm going to get done this weekend. And I thought I would bring you along with me in the other stuff we get into. Okay, let's stop jabbering and let's get to reading. Hello. I feel like we need to talk about a couple things. So I have officially made it to 65% of the way through one by one. And I am still really liking it. It's very much so like a vintage horror film vibe. You know, like don't take me too seriously, kind of quirky, like cheesy. Very much don't open the closet, even though I know you're going to open the closet. It's kind of those vibes. But again, I really like those kinds of vibes, so I'm really liking that aspect of it. I will say the men in this book are appalling. I hate almost every single man in this book. And I don't say that lightly. The men in this book are horrible. They're insufferable. For example, I need to tell you about this one quote that got me feeling some type of way. So there's a male character in here that I really, really don't like. And he is talking to our main character, Claire. And he's like, well, it must be hard doing your yoga classes every day and dropping your kids off. And she's like, excuse me? I work full time. I'm a teacher. And he said, yeah, exactly. You're a teacher. I'm a surgeon. Sir, you can quite literally go choke on a spoon. I really hope you're the next one. Anyway, that's just a little thing. There is something that Frida McFadden is trying to do with the main character and her husband. And I am really enjoying that, because there's all sorts of icky stuff that's going on in this book. Like there is themes of cheating in here and things to that nature. It's a thriller. There's going to be bad people doing bad things. Again, so far so good. I'm 65% of the way through. I think I'm going to try and stay up and read it, the rest of it, but I am up way past my bedtime. Either way, I'm going to talk to you in the morning. Lovelies, happy Saturday. It is the next day and I have a couple things to update you on. So this morning I showed you a little bit of what we did. We've had the best morning. So basically we got up. I finished one by one this morning, which I'll update you on in just a second. But we got up and then we went to this like fruit bowl food truck sort of thing, and it's called Hippie Bowls, and it's basically like ICE bowls and yogurt bowls, smoothie bowls and stuff like that with fruit. It was really good. And then we went by this cute little market place that had a bunch of plants out, and I have the urge, I don't know if it's a feminine urge or what, to plant all the things right now, but it's like the end of April. No, it's like the middle of April when I'm filming this, and I just think it's too early, and I'm kind of afraid because Tennessee, you really can't decide if it's wanting to be cold or not, so I don't want to plant all these things and then frost come. So I'm going to try and wait on planting things, but I do have that urge today. I definitely do want to go out and plant some flowers. But let me talk to you about One by One. So I did finish it, and I settled on a rating of 3.75, and which is completely opposite of what I was telling you before, because I was really loving the ride of this book. I really did overall enjoy the whole atmosphere of the book. It seems very quirky. It seemed very corny and cheesy. If you read a lot of thrillers like I do, this just isn't up to, I guess it isn't like to the standard of which I thought it would be, because it's a Frida McFadden. But overall, I really did enjoy it. Like I said last night, I really did enjoy what she was doing with the main couple. I really did enjoy that, and you'll have to just read the book to understand what I'm saying, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. And again, it just gave me those like vintage horror film vibes where it was like, don't take me too seriously, you know? So I am going to go into spoiler territory right now, because I do want to say something about this book, but I do not want to spoil this book for you. So if you want to read this book, I would go ahead and skip ahead, and I will put it down here to where I am not going to be talking about spoilers anymore. So you go ahead and skip to that part if you are interested in reading this book. If you're not, stay tuned. This is the spoilers discussion. If you do not want to be a part of it, this is your last chance. So let's talk about this twist. I'm not going to tell you who did it, but I am going to tell you that I did not appreciate how Frida McFadden, her whole basis of this twist was based off of mental illness. The character that ended up doing all of the killings was severely mentally ill, and this character had a lot of issues from the beginning of the book. Like, you're getting a perspective of this character who is doing the killings, as well as Claire's, and you see very early on that this character is having a lot of issues, and they have a lot to deal with mentally. Basically, at the end of the book, they're talking about how this person is doing these killings because they're so impulsive. Like, there's not a real reason why this person is killing all these people. They have underlying mental illness, mental disorders. Frida McFadden does not come out right and say that, but you definitely know that this person has some mental illness. To basically use that as a crutch for the final plot twist, I just kind of felt icky about that. I really did. I just kind of felt icky about that. I didn't like doing that. And I've actually never read a book that uses mental illness as a crutch for their plot twist. And I didn't like that. So that's why I did take it down to 3.75. Okay, we're out of spoiler territory now. And just know that I didn't really appreciate the final twist. There was something in there that Frida McFadden did that I just didn't appreciate. If you are curious, read the book and then come back and watch that little spiel, or read my Goodreads review, because I did write a review on it, but I did blank it out because it does have spoilers. So I don't know if you can tell, but it is absolutely beautiful outside today, and it's like 70 degrees outside, so I think I may go read in my hammock for a while, and I'm gonna pick up something wilder. I have been on and off with this book, like picking it up back and forth, and I'm still loving this one. I'm hoping this one doesn't turn out like the Frida McFadden book where I was loving it and then it's like a 3.5. I've had nothing but 3-star reads this month, and I'm kind of getting burnt out a little bit, but I really have a good feeling about this one. Okay, that's enough chatter. Let's go read. So I finished Something Wilder, and now I fear that there's no hope for any other book. Okay, I don't know how much I told you about this book. Let me recap. and tell you what it was about. So basically we're following our main character, Lily, and Lily's dad owned like this ranch where he would make up these fake treasure maps and take these people on these treasure hunts. And he passed the business down to Lily, and so Lily's in charge of the business. She fell in love with this guy a while ago, and they just kind of went separate ways, and now their paths have crossed once again, where Lily has to take him and his group of friends on a treasure hunt. You know what? That's all I want you to know about it. Quite literally, that's it. That is it. That's all I want you to know about it, because, oh, it was so good. It was so good. I ended up giving this book 6 stars. I told you that at the beginning of the video. I told you that I was going to, and you didn't believe me, and I did. I sure did. I gave it 6 stars. Oh my gosh. Was this the most perfect book ever? No, there was a lot of cursing throughout it, but again, I chose to overlook that because one, I was loving the plot so much that I just scooted away from it. Like, I was just like, okay, let's just keep going. It's just the atmosphere. We're in a ranch, we're around horses. That's just the atmosphere. And there were a couple scenes in here. There was 2, and I will leave the chapters that they were in here if you would like to skip over them. The main reason I love this book so much was the treasure hunting aspect and the fact that it was so much more than a romance. It was a mystery. It was an intense adventure. It was falling in love. It was all the things, and it was so heartwarming and so precious, and I really did feel the connection between these 2 characters and absolutely loved them. It's a winner in my book. I definitely think that more people should be talking about this book, and I'm really confused why. So let me just tell you, my friend Elise was the one who gave me this recommendation, and I'm going to be going to her for every book recommendation from now on because she recommended me one book and it's a 6-star. I'm gonna be running to at least like every 5 minutes from now on. Okay, so the question is, what do I pick up next? Because this is a weekend reading vlog and it's only Saturday afternoon and I've got all night tonight. Well, technically I don't have all night because we're gonna go out and celebrate my husband's grandmother's birthday and we're gonna go have pizza and cake. But after that, I'm going to come home and read some more. And then I have tomorrow after church. So here are the next 2 options that I have. The first one is the Selection series by Kira Cass. I'm really intrigued about this one. And I got the audiobook on Libby. And Murder Road by Simone St. James. This is my friend Jessie's book club pick for the month. And I really need to get to this one. And I also have this audiobook on Libby. So I probably will ask Instagram what you all think over there, what I should pick up next. I'm really feeling, I don't know, I'm really feeling both of them. I'm kind of feeling Murder Road a little bit more because I just read like a fluffy romance. I don't know. Well, ask Instagram and I'll check in later. Okay, it looks like the people have spoken and I'm going to be picking up Murder Road for my last read of the weekend. Hello. It is Sunday now. It is after church. It's like in between services. I have church again tonight, but I thought I would check in with you. Hello, how is your Sunday going? I'm sure it's not Sunday for you when you're watching this, but just in case it is. So this morning we had church. We had a great service, and then I came home and did a few things around the house. And I did what I normally like to do on Sundays. I basically did a brain dump of everything that I needed to get done this next week. I'm ready to go back outside in my hammock. It is 84 degrees in Tennessee today. But next week it's going to be like 40. So you really can't go off of that. Anyway, so I'm going to go outside and be outside for a few hours before we have to go back to church. And I'm going to be picking up Murder Road by Simone St. James. Here's the deal though. I think I'm going to end this video here because I am not going to finish this book this weekend, but I'm 50 pages in and let me tell you, it is very creepy. Those are my initial thoughts. I'm only on page 50 and it's very creepy. I'm really liking the aspect of like who killed this random girl. So basically this starts out with a newlywed couple that is on their way to their honeymoon in the middle of the night and they start getting lost and they see a woman just standing in the middle of the road and they decide to help her out because she looks kind of lost. And so she gets in the truck and they notice that she's bleeding. So they immediately get her to the hospital and they notice that there is a truck after them. It's all sorts of chaos right now. It's all sorts of chaos and they get get to the hospital and she dies. That was 50 pages. I may get a little further into this one tonight. Like I said, I'm going to go try and read it a little bit right now, but I'm definitely not going to get finished this weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, my friends. Thank you so much for watching this weekend. I had a blast. I did end up finishing 2 books this weekend, which I think is a huge success. If you made it this far into the video, please fill my comment section up with sunshine because it is beautiful. It's beautiful, and I'm so happy about it. All right, lovelies, I will see you in my next video. Bye.